Hello, RCA and RVC computer science students. Mr. Smith here. I'm actually wanted to take a minute to create a video for week 2 of school. I want to highlight a few things, especially the software. The main purpose of this video is for the Rockdale Virtual Campus students because some of y'all cannot attend class because you have other classes during the B3 class period. But I just wanted to share with everyone in case you needed remediation or enrichment on what we've been going over so far. So in the resources, y'all will actually see week 1, and then I have a week 1 folder. It is Sunday night right now, so in the morning I will archive this week 1 into its folder, and then week 2 stuff will go active. Alright, so I did want to show you in this video what the expectations are for week 2. So first off, I'd like to thank everyone. I felt like week 1 was a great success. But this week, we're ready to move forward and actually get into some content-rich learning. So my goal for this week is to actually introduce the Java programming language and start breaking down some of the basics and actually allowing y'all to write your first programs. Alright, so if you move on to Tuesday, August 25th, you'll see that your learning target is to create a basic Java program that will print out strings. Alright, so again, if you do show up during B3 on Tuesday and Thursday, you'll use the Bitmoji Classroom to join our class by clicking on it, and then you'll click the link to enter Microsoft Teams. Alright, however, if you're working on your own, you just need to scroll on down. So I have posted the notes called What is Java? Alright, so this is a PDF document that just breaks down a little bit about Java. Basically, Java is a software development kit that is broken into 3 parts: source code, bytecode, and program output. In between those, the source code turns into bytecode by going through what's called a compiler. The bytecode becomes program output by running through an interpreter. Alright, so in class, I will actually discuss this in further detail, and I will post the video of our class session on the It's Learning page. So if you want to see that, you'll have to just kind of click on that link once it's loaded. Alright, so during class this week, I'm going to be going through a Nearpod. The Nearpod's built just to kind of introduce you to the basics of Java programming. Once we go through the Nearpod, I'm going to go over a lot of the basics, and then you're actually going to use Replit. Alright, so we are in a little bit of a situation because you guys need what's called Netbeans on your laptops, but you need an administrator password to get it. So over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to task y'all with actually making an appointment with the Intel at RCA, and you have to go up there and have her load Netbeans onto your laptop. So I know it's not the greatest thing, but it's the only solution that I have been given. So until everyone can use Netbeans, we're going to use what's called Replit. So Repl.it. Alright, and Replit is just basically an online Java SDK compiler interpreter. It's basically a whole environment where you can program Java. And it looks like this. Alright, so I want y'all to actually sign in with your Google account. I have a teacher account, and then I'm going to have everyone do that during class. So let me go. I'm going to go ahead and sign up because I think I haven't used my new Google account. So okay, so I'm now signed in with my new Google account, so it'll save all my files as I work on them. So the first thing we're going to do here is you'll see that every time Replit loads up, it loads this class main file. Alright, so this is the very first and most basic program that you're ever going to run. Alright, and it is actually already filled out for you. I'm going to walk through the code real quick. And we will talk about this during class, so you can watch the recording for that. But basically, the class main, this is called a HelloWorld program because we're just going to print the statement hello world. And to do that, we have to use our main method. All right, so I'm going to first put a comment here, just indicating that I'm about to make the main method. All right, if we were in the classroom, I would actually have y'all write this over and over and over again until you learned it. Because the main method is required in every single program you write. So you can think about the main method as being the location where your instructions are. So if you're going to bake a cake, right, you would go look at the recipe, and in the recipe it would say gather 6 eggs, then I crack the eggs, pour them in a bowl, add a little flour, mix it up with my little mixer thing. Alright, so that list of instructions is the recipe. Basically, the main method is the recipe. So it is the recipe of the program. It gives you the list of instructions to make the program work. And it's always going to look like this, alright? Public static void main, parentheses, string args, brackets, parentheses, then squiggly brackets. Alright, I have written this so many times in my life, I can literally I had to look for a couple of them. I can literally do it in my sleep. Alright, public static void main string args. So you've always got to have this in every one of your programs because that's where the instructions go. Alright, so I do want to say be careful of your brackets. You'll see here if I highlight one, it'll highlight the closing one that matches. So class main here has a closing bracket here that matches. The main method has a closing bracket there that matches. Alright, we are going to work inside the brackets, and the term for that is called scope. So the scope of the main method is everything between the bracket, or the scope of the main class is everything between its brackets. So from this bracket to this bracket, all of this is inside. So that if I ever say the scope of class main, it's what's between its brackets. Alright, the scope of the main method is what is between the brackets and main method. So it's going to be everything inside. Alright, so inside here is the scope of main method. Alright, so now we actually want to put something in that scope. We actually want to put instructions. So let me add a comment for that. Instructions for the program go here. Alright, so what I want to teach you first is print statements, and this is the most basic thing you can do. So system.out.print. Alright, that is the most common, easy, or that's the most simplest statement you can write in Java. And what this is actually doing, let me pull up Paint. So what this is actually doing, it is going into a class called System. Let me make that a little bigger. Alright, and then inside of System, it's going and it's looking for a class called Out. So I actually didn't draw a text box. So it's looking for a class called Out. So if we were in class, I'd ask y'all, okay, what do you think another class inside System might be? Well, if there's an out, right, there might be an in. So by now you figured out that out is output. So we're actually using our keyboard to output information, so that's why it's out. If we were using like a microphone or something that's input, we would use in. Alright, so we have system.out, and then inside of out, we have a method called print. Alright, so inside of out, there is print. So system.out.print. So that's kind of how the hierarchy here works. So if I go back over here, see system.out.print. Alright, so inside of print, print's mad at me. Because if I go over here, let's see if it tells me. I don't think Replit tells you. See, that's what's so powerful about Netbeans and why we need it, is it will actually tell us right here on this red mark what is wrong. So system.out.print, it actually wants a string. Alright, so the print method requires you to put a string in, inside the parentheses to print out. So I'm going to put hello world. All right. So another little comment, strings are always surrounded by double quotes. All right, so let me just show you. If I put hello world here, it's mad. All right, whenever you're printing words or strings, you have to put the double quotes around it. All right, so now that we've done all that, we've basically written the most basic program we can write in Java. So I'm going to go ahead and click save so I don't lose it, and then I'm going to click, after it finishes saving, I'm going to go ahead and click run. And then over here is our console. So whatever our program is designed to do, you will see it actually come out and do that over here on the right. All right, so this is called the console output. So if you look, Java C means I compiled, Java class path means I run, and then it prints out what we wanted, hello world. All right, to show you that it's actually working, let me go add some exclamation points to hello world and run that. And I'm sorry it's slow, guys. If we had Netbeans, this would be super fast, but we're a couple weeks away from that. So I'm going to run this, and while it's running, see now I've added that many exclamation points, and we have that many exclamation points. So let me go ahead and add a second print statement. Hello world, my name is Mr. Smith. Let me do question marks, right? So I've added a second print statement. So I'm going to click run, right? And I should expect to see hello world, and then I guess under it, see, it's actually mad at me. So compiler exit status 1, and then it gives us this message. Okay, so you see this little upward caret here? It means that I'm missing something right here. So if you look at our first statement, I closed it with a semicolon. All right, so whenever you write an instruction statement in Java, you've got to actually close it with a semicolon. I'll let you decide whether I just did that on purpose, because that was a good teaching moment. But you always have to close with a semicolon. So let me click run. And now once it processes, compiles, all right, hello world, my name is Mr. Smith. I'm on 2 different lines here, so why isn't it on 2 different lines over here? Well, the reason why is Java is a programming language that ignores white space. All right, so when I clicked enter here and went to a new line, that's called a return, and it counts the white space to know that there's a new line. But Java doesn't worry about white space. If you've ever programmed in HTML, you'll learn that HTML is actually white space sensitive and Java is not. Alright, so what that means is I actually have to use commands to go to a new line. So if I wanted the phrase, my name is Mr. Smith, to return below and actually print under hello world, I have to use a command for that. So I'm actually going to go in here, and we've just been using print. Well, there's another one called println, alright? And you can see it here, println. So it stands for print line. And it's not an IN. A lot of people put a capital I there. Just, I don't know why it just happens, but it's println for print line. Alright, so if we use print line instead of print, when I run this, you'll actually see a difference here. So now, what the print line does is it adds an automatic return at the end of this string, so that way my name is Mr. Smith is printed on the line below. So just to see that work again, my dog's name is Bethany. And I'll put a little smiley face. Alright. Remember, got to have that semicolon. So when I run this now, alright, so my dog's name is Bethany is printed on the end of my name is Mr. Smith. So if I go back and make this a println, and then I run it, it will return it to the next line. All right, so that's how print and println work. All right, so print and then println prints the string and then returns to next line. So that is how they are different. All right, so we also have these things called escape sequences. All right, so basically, because the forward slash has already been designated as a comment, we had to have these thing called escape sequences. So if I were to type system.out.print, just print, right? And in my string here, let's say that I wanted to put a forward slash. And let me run this and let's see what it looks like. Oh, sorry. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean a forward slash. Sorry, let's put a backslash. All right. See, it is upset with me. All right, because I put a backslash. Well, the reason why is a backslash is an indicator of an escape sequence. So an example is backslash n. Backslash n is the new line sequence. All right, so what that means is it actually returns to a new line. So I'll show you when I run this. So what has happened is this print statement here has this backslash n at the front. So we were right here, and that backslash n made it go to the next line, and then we printed out the phrase new line sequence. All right, so because this indicates a sequence, double backspaces is how you print one backspace. And actually, let me make this a print line so everything's on its own line. So if you want to make one backslash, you actually have to put two of them in a string, and you can see that there. One backslash prints out, but I have two inside the string. All right, so if I Google escape sequences Java, you can actually find the whole list of them and what they do. So /n inserts a new line in a text at this point. /r is inserts a carriage return. /f is a form feed. /single quote is a single quote character. So here they all are. Okay. All right. The reason I'm telling you this is because for your homework assignment, guys, what you're going to work on your own, you have this lab where you're actually going to walk through and do HelloWorld like I just did also. So let me actually go back. Let me go back and look at it as a student. Oh, of course. Let me just pull up the PDF so you can see it. So you are going to I have so many folders. You're going to be working on, or you're going to work on a lab called HelloWorld ASCII Art. All right, and your lab looks like this. Where it says open your IDE, that's where you're actually going to go to Replit and do the lab. All right, I just walked through HelloWorld and showed y'all how to do that. So I want you to do what I just did. All right, and then your homework. Your homework for today is going to be to actually, I want you to print out these two computer screens. All right, so I want you to print these two computer screens out using print statements. So for instance, let me see here. Let me see if I can get two screens up. one. And edge. Okay. So, for instance, how I would do this is I would go over here and say add folder. And I would call this ASCII Art Lab, maybe, or Lab 1 ASCII. Alright, now that I have the folder, I want to add a file, and I'm going to add ASCII.java. Alright, so here's my Java file. Oh. And I'm going to say class ASCII, just like this. And then I gotta have that main method, right? Because that's where my instructions go. So just like that. So now I can actually start programming the two computers. So if I look at the top of the head, it looks like this. Alright, so I'm gonna copy and paste and just see how it comes out. I think to make my life easier, I'm going to copy and paste and then adjust from there. Alright. So there's the first one. So let me click run. Alright, so I've got an error here. So remember when I was just telling y'all about the escape sequences? Well, the whole reason I did that is for this reason. Here I need a backslash to actually happen, so I have to put 2 backslashes to get 1. Alright, and I showed y'all that when I was just talking in the lab. Alright, so now that I have fixed that, it's weird. Run, 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 run. Why is it running the old... Let me delete this. Oh, maybe it can't be... my apologies, guys. I haven't used Replit a whole lot, so I'm trying to learn. Says it's compiling ASCII.main, so why is this one not running? What if I put this code into main? Y'all are going to troubleshoot with me here. I'm going to run that. Oh, I have too many of these. Run that. Okay, so it looks like you can't create a separate folder. Which we're going to work through this, guys, together. So it looks like you're just always going to have to work with main here. That's the way it looks, which I just learned that. So even though I want you to do this lab about ASCII, you're just going to have to work out of this main folder to get it to work. Alright, so you'll see now when I click run, it actually prints that top line. So then I could grab this second line, maybe, and I could do another one. I forgot my second quote. It's too many. I need just one. Alright, so I run that one. Same thing, right? Here's another backslash, so I need 2 backslashes. Unclose literal string. Compiler exit here. Oh, it's because I have this here. Sorry. So we're all learning together, guys. We're all learning together with this. We'll use Netbeans. Okay, so again, it did print statement, and it printed this line, and then print statement printed this line. So they're on the same line. So remember how I fixed that is I got to make these print lines so that way they go to the next line after they print. So when I run this, This time they go down to the next line. Alright, so it's starting to kind of look like this one. So I want you to continue on with this until you actually have the entire computers drawn out. And then what you're going to do then is I want you to screenshot all this by hitting print screen. And then you are going to submit it to me in its learning. Alright, so if I go back and actually look at this as a teacher, you will see that there is a lab assignment for you to submit this to me. And you will submit it right here. Alright, so basically you're just walking through Hello World, and I'm going to give you time in class on Tuesday to do this. Alright, so that's pretty much it for today. I know that was long, that was like 26 minutes. But I had a lot to get through with y'all. Alright, so again, RVC kids, this is a video to help you out. My guys in class, I'm going to go over this in class, and you can refer to this video and our class video for extra help. It might go a little smoother. Alright guys, as always, email me if you have any questions, or you can book office hours through Microsoft Bookings. Alright, thank you.